What's good, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Miami Dolphins franchise. This is episode 18, and this is the playoffs, man. I am so nervous, and I will tell you why. This is the first time we have an opportunity to win a playoff game for the Miami Dolphins since 2000. That was before I was born, and I want this win really bad, so let's get right into it. I'm not even going to tell you to go check out the last episode, even though you should if you didn't see it, because we went over the whole league. So if you want to know where we're at in terms of stats and all that type of stuff, please go check out the last episode. And like I say every time, please go check out the playlist so you can see the whole series and how we got to this point in the divisional playoff game. Now, we're playing against the Indianapolis Colts at 3:05 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium, and we are wearing the white throwbacks. That's why I'm wearing it. Let's get this W. The only thing we have to do before getting into the game, other than obviously the weekly strategy, is our press conference, because this is our first playoff game as a coach and for Mike McDaniel. Coach, you're heading into your first playoff game. Playoff success often makes or breaks a career. How important is your first playoff win? Our two options are guarantee win and play it cool. We're going to play it cool because I don't think you want to guarantee a win, because every game is important. And when you're playing a playoff team, you have to bring your best. There are no guarantees when you play teams that are this good, which is so true, man. The Indianapolis Colts are a very good team. They put up one of the biggest fights against us, as we had to go to overtime to beat them only by 3 points, 34-31. So please, let's go get this win. No risk, no reward. Beat the Colts for a staff punch reward. So again, not really anything there for that press conference. We just get a couple staff points, which isn't that big of a deal. But now we get into some of the most important stuff, which is the weekly strategy. Heading into this game, we're defending the inside run because we have to defend Jonathan Taylor, X Factor 95 overall. Jonathan Taylor, he is the person we need to stop. And then on defense, or for us on offense, but for them on defense, they want us to throw it deep, but they do have a bunch of good corners. We're going to do blitz counter because I think that's important to make sure that they don't get the blitz going off against us. For the weekly game plan goal, we're going to do throw 2 touchdown passes. We're going to do don't allow a pass touchdown, because if Jonathan Taylor goes off, we do not want Matt Ryan going off at all. Actually, I'm going to switch it up because of what I just said. Let's go with sack the QB 3 times. Let's get to Matt Ryan, make his job very hard so that it is only Jonathan Taylor. Because even if Jonathan Taylor goes completely crazy, if we can limit Matt Ryan, hopefully we won't let them go too crazy in terms of the entirety of the offense. For us, we want to do rush for 150 yards because we are a rush first team. And for the head coach goal, we're going to do win the turnover battle, because this is playoffs, man. In the playoffs, you never want to turn the ball over. Protecting the ball is everything in the playoffs, and that's something we have to keep aware of as we go into this game. As on offense, again, this is huge for these practice. Hopefully there is no practice injury right now, and on offense there doesn't seem to be, which is so huge. As you go through the defense here with no injuries, we are missing Teron Armstead, as there is no injuries to our defense, which is huge, but we are missing Teron Armstead. I'll give you a quick overview after we upgrade these players of the roster, as Cedric Wilson has an upgrade, and we will upgrade his route runner, which makes him a scheme fit, and he gets +2 morale, so he's up to an 82 overall. So that's really awesome, as he gets +1 speed there, which is huge. So Cedric Wilson, hopefully he can have a good game against these Colts. I'll show you quickly the roster that we're going in with. Again, no changes other than that Teron Armstead injury. I'm nervous, man. I'm not going to lie. So this is the roster. We have Liam Eichenberg starting at left tackle. This is the defense, and that's the team we're going in for our first playoff game. Tua Tagovailoa, Jonathan Taylor, Miami Dolphins, Indianapolis Colts. It's game time. Tua Tagovailoa warming up, talking to Tyreek Hill. That is exactly what you want to see. Wearing the white throwbacks. They're such beautiful jerseys. I think they're the best jersey in the NFL, as the American flag is on the field for this first playoff game. This is a huge game for Dolphins fans. This is a huge game for us. I really want to go out there and get this win. So let's go and do that against the Indianapolis Colts. As you see, Stephon Gilmore, Matt Ryan, a bunch of additions to this Colts team, who is a very dangerous team to play against. Tua Tagovailoa leading your Miami Dolphins onto the field. And of course, we are playing at Hard Rock Stadium. Tua Tagovailoa breaking it down. Matt Ryan talking to his team, breaking it down. AFC divisional game, Dolphins, Colts. Let's do this. Always kicking off Jason Sanders with the kickoff to start this playoff game. Let's get right to it, boys. This is going to be intense as Jason Sanders kicks it off. And honestly, I'll probably show you everything. I want to show you every return. I want to show you everything. This is playoff game. This is huge as we do a great job on the kick return. And we'll see what Matt Ryan has done for the entirety of the season. As let's see what stats he's put up. Matt Ryan, the new quarterback for your Indianapolis Colts, 3,900 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions for the Indianapolis Colts starting quarterback. Let's get right to it. We're going to start off sending some pressure. As you see, Jonathan Taylor right there. He is the guy we need to stop. Let's start off with some heat on Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor. We really want to start off with a great play to this game as they do a toss to Jonathan Taylor. Javon Holland, this is all you. Jonathan Taylor gets stiff-armed, but Jalen Phillips comes back for the tackle. Jonathan Taylor gets 5 yards on his first rush. And man, I'm so nervous here. I am so nervous with this game. Using Channing Tindall on Jonathan Taylor. He goes out on a route over the inside, and they do make the catch underneath. And we really need to try and limit Matt Ryan, like I said, because the biggest thing is stopping Jonathan Taylor. But it's one of those things where you might not be able to stop him, so you just want to try and slow him down and then just not let anyone else on the team do anything. So we really want to try and limit Matt Ryan as Jerome Baker stops Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. 2 rushes for 7 yards for Jonathan Taylor. That's a huge stop for Jerome Baker, one of the best players on our defense for this year, doing a lot by himself, not even me using him, just because I usered the safeties a lot. As they do a false start, the Dolphins crowd getting into the game, forcing them into a false start, which is huge, as that will push them back to make it 2nd and 13, as that is huge from our fans and from this defense. That makes it a much easier stop on 2nd and long. And with that being said, let's try and get the stop using Channing Tindall over the middle. Jonathan Taylor on this whip route. He goes across. Byron Jones allows the catch, but he does make the tackle to make it 3rd and medium, using the cover 1 play, which we've used so much this year, and hoping to get this stop here on this first drive for the Indianapolis Colts, using Brandon Jones over the middle. They drop back into the pass with slants. Matt Ryan getting pressured. He doesn't get down. He goes down by Raekwon Davis with a half a sack. I believe it might have been Christian Wilkins or Jalen Phillips on the other side of him, but we get the stop on the Colts' first drive, and we get the ball back. That is huge. That is so huge for this first playoff game, as we get a stop on Jonathan Taylor and these Indianapolis Colts. Let's see if we can put up points on this team first. River Craycraft with a nice juke, and I thought if he could have kept going to the left side, that might have been a big return, but we do have a little bit of momentum. Tua Tagovailoa running onto the field for his first playoff game. You love to see it. 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Let's go Tua Tagovailoa. Let's go and put up some points on the board with this offense. It's unfortunate that Teron Armstead is not here, but we obviously are going to start with the run. We really want to use the run to our advantage, going with Raheem Mostert, our 1,000-yard rusher for the year. Good blocks by our offensive lineman. Good blocks by Jalen Waddle. And we get about 8 to 9 yards on that first play. 1 rush for 9 yards for Raheem Mostert. That is a great start to this game. That is huge. Just go right to the play action. Get Tua going in this game. We want him to be going, as he is going to be huge for our play. He's really proven that he is this team. This is his team. This is Tua's team. You love to see it, as we'll just go to triangle underneath. Raheem Mostert stays in bounds, jukes back inside, and that's a nice little throw from Tua Tagovailoa for 9 yards and the first down. You love to see it. We'll go right back to Tua with the arm. I kind of like this play with Tyreek Hill on the in route, and then Waddle and then Edmonds are my guys underneath. As Edmonds looks to have space, as he does have space over underneath, Mike Gesicki with a nice block, and we get another bunch of yards after the catch. 2 for 2, 25 yards for Tua Tagovailoa, and we'll go right back to the run with a halfback stretch with Alec Ingold in the game. Hopefully he can continue to be amazing, as let's hand the ball off to Raheem Mostert to this left side. Alec Ingold, go out and get me a block. Unfortunately he didn't, and Raheem Mostert is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, which is a little bit unfortunate, as that makes it 2nd and 10. Mike McDaniel talking to his defense. Let's run this halfback draw with Chase Edmonds. I actually really like this play, but I'm actually going to go right to a run instead of wasting some time faking the pass, as I like what it looks like. And Chase Edmonds gets stopped again, as the Colts are playing this bend but don't break defense. We're going to go right back to the arm with Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek going deep, and Jalen Waddle underneath. Let's see who gets open here. Is that Tyreek? Wide open. They misdo their coverage, and that's a touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa to Tyreek Hill on the first drive, and we strike first, 7-0 for your Miami Dolphins on the Indianapolis Colts. They're running a booth review, but I'm pretty sure he's in bounds. Again, I'll let you guys see this. I want to show you guys everything. I'm so excited. That's a huge play, as they really miss their coverage. They get distracted. Tell me Tyreek had the ball and got his feet in bounds. I believe he did, as that is 2 feet in. We're going to wait to see what the referee says, but it did look like his feet were in, as the referee runs back onto the field. Tyreek Hill talking to Liam Eichenberg. I thought it looked good to me, and the touchdown stands, as we will go up 7-0 as long as I make this extra point. That is a huge drive and a huge play from Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill, as the extra point is good, so we do go up 7-0. A huge play from Tyreek Hill and Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa striking first with a dot to Tyreek Hill, who got wide open on the broken coverage down the field, and we scored a touchdown, 7-0 on the Indianapolis Colts, as we will kick off with Jason Sanders. I'm being a little bit more expressive, I feel like, just because I'm just excited. Genuinely, like, if I was playing a playoff game, like, by myself, like, not recording, like, this is how excited I would be, because I am, like, genuinely, I'm nervous for this playoff game. 7-0 for the Miami Dolphins. Let's go and make another stop on this Colts team and Jonathan Taylor. We actually know exactly what route he's going to run because of the momentum. So let's see if we can use Brandon Jones on Michael Pittman on this zig route. because that is what we were covering, but he goes underneath, but unfortunately Mo Alley Cox cannot turn around to make the catch, and Brandon Jones goes to his face and talks some shit, because this is the playoffs and we are trying to do everything we can to get in our opponent's head. We're going to use Jerome Baker on the zig route again with Michael Pittman underneath. But he goes underneath, and Byron Jones cannot make the tackle. Never mind, that's actually our slot corner in Eric Rowe, as he made the tackle, but unfortunately cannot bat the pass away. We're going to use our Byron Jones over here because we know exactly what route he's going to run, so we can basically stop it immediately. And Jerome Baker almost has the interception, but he does a great job to knock the ball down, as it is 2nd and 10. It's so nice that we know the route, because we can just take away a whole route from Matt Ryan, as he goes underneath to Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield with a catch. And they do get the first down, 4 for 6 for 44 yards for Matt Ryan. Let's start sending some heat again, because that is something that we do want to do. Using Channing Tindall on Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully he can use his speed to try and get to Jonathan Taylor, as another good tackle by Brandon Jones, who has really kind of shown out this year for your Miami Dolphins as the strong safety. We're going to continue to send the heat, as we will use your Javon Holland on this tight end. Actually, we'll use your Jerome Baker and try and get to the quarterback with the blitz. But they do go to Jonathan Taylor, but we do a great job to stop the run, but he's still on his feet. And then it is Javon Holland to lay the final tackle, to make the tackle, as he is flexing on the Indianapolis Colts, which you love to see. We have another momentum boost where we know exactly the route we're going to use. So let's use your Jerome Baker and cover that route completely. Take it away completely, as we are covering that inside route, using him. Jerome Baker, as he does throw it up, Byron Jones, get back there, he swats the ball, and a huge swat from Byron Jones, because he tried to make the one-handed catch. But we make another stop on this Colts team, which is so important. Wisniewski back to punt, River Craycraft back to return, and a huge play from your Miami Dolphins. I'm actually going to let this bounce and see if this goes into the end zone, as it does, thank God, as he did put a little bit of backspin on it. But we will start from the 20-yard line with Tua Tagovailoa running back onto the field. And let's take a shot with this play-action play, see what we can do. Actually, I kind of don't love it, so we'll just go with this inside zone run, where Mike Gesicki will go on a route, or not on a route, sorry, but he will motion over and pretend to go on a route, as Connor Williams tries to make a block, but unfortunately he can't. But Raheem Mostert still gets 4 yards on that play. Let's go back to Chase Edmonds with the run, the halfback base play. Chase Edmonds running behind. Hopefully Connor Williams can get over there for a block, as he does. Chase Edmonds cuts it back, and he gets the first down, which is huge, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter, where we have all the momentum, and we're up 7-0 on the Colts. Running this dig return play, seeing what we can do with Waddle and Tyreek on the double move. Again, those are our two primary receivers, as they've just been incredible this year. As Waddle gets open on that dig route, and he turns up the field for the first down. Tua Tagovailoa to your leading receiver, Jalen Waddle, 4 for 4 for 67 yards and a touchdown. We're going to go right back to Raheem Mostert on this halfback stretch play, our running back one for your Miami Dolphins. And finally, we had a 1,000-yard rusher, as he cuts it back to the middle, and he gets about 10 yards on that play, and he does get the 1st and 10 for Raheem Mostert. You love to see that. We will go right back to him with the inside zone, as Tua Tagovailoa will get the snap. Liam Eichenberg with a nice block. Raheem Mostert gets to the outside. Can he get to the outside again? He breaks a tackle, but he does get pushed out of bounds. But Raheem Mostert continues to do well. 5 rushes for 43 yards. You love to see that. Let's get Chase Edmonds going as well as our complimentary running back. Want to keep him involved as well. Let's go with the inside zone to this left side. Connor Williams gets a nice block. We'll cut this back to the inside. Cut it back to the outside. Chase Edmonds makes a very nice run with a bunch of cuts, but hopefully it's not a holding call on this offense, as it does look like it is an illegal block in the back. As let's see who it is. It's Jalen Waddle. Unfortunately, Jalen, you cannot be doing that. That is so important that you not take a penalty like that, but that does make it 1st and 9, because we did have such a good play with the illegal block in the back. Giving the ball back to Chase Edmonds, seeing if he can do it again. He has a bunch of space. Let's juke back inside, and he does get about 8 yards, which isn't too bad, as that will make it 2nd and 2. Let's run this RPO play with Tyreek Hill. We are reading this linebacker to see if he's going to cover Tyreek. If not, no, let's actually just give it to Raheem Mostert, as he finds the hole and gets the 1st down on the 2nd and 2. Didn't want to risk it with Tyreek Hill. Another 1st and 10 for your Miami Dolphins, going back to the stick play, and hopefully one of our receivers can get open. I'm going to put Waddle on the drag route just to have someone underneath, right and over the middle, to see if he can get open. He doesn't get open. Rolling out to our right, and we'll just throw this ball away, because I didn't want to risk it by throwing an interception. Like I talked about at the beginning of the game, where I said I didn't want to have any turnovers, I was not lying. Part of playoff football is turnovers, and we do not want to throw turnovers or fumble turnovers, anything like that, as we will go right back to the halfback stretch play. Alec Engel gets a nice block, but unfortunately it is Liam Eichenberg struggling on that left side, can't hold his block, and that makes it 3rd and 9. Colts trying to play bend but don't break defense, as we will run this red zone scissors play, which looks very interesting, as that route for Mostert should get open if we do get the blocking for the play to develop. Let's see if we can get anyone else open. Is that Waddle over the middle? What a throw from Tua Tagovailoa now to Jalen Waddle after throwing his first touchdown to Tyreek Hill, and we will be going up 14-0 on the Indianapolis Colts. What a route by Jalen Waddle. A great read by Tua Tagovailoa. Let's just make this kick. Make sure I make it. I might have missed that. Jesus Christ, as I just sneak it in. 14-0 for your Miami Dolphins on the Indianapolis Colts. A great drive there from Tua Tagovailoa and the run game, doing exactly what we want to do, not turning over the ball and just running down the field, using our running back to our advantage and letting Tua pick it apart after trying to stop the run. We just let Tua go in there with the pass and do his thing with his arm as we go right back to the cover 2 man, as now there is the glitch where Jonathan Taylor is tired and it is a fullback in to run the ball. And I'm going to get so mad. I'm about to get so mad because now Jonathan Taylor is not in a playoff game. Why is Jonathan Taylor not in a playoff game as it is a fullback? I have no idea what is going on. What I might do is just quit the game and come back in, where now our jerseys will be ruined. The score might be a little bit ruined as Brandon Jones gets back there and he swats the ball. But I'm going to do everyone a solid and I'm going to show everything. I'm going to quit the game. And the reason I'm actually doing this is because it will save our progress from that spot. I hate to do this. This takes away from all of the immersion, all of that stuff. But what this will do is it will reset their fatigue level. So we'll go right back into the game. We'll resume the game again. It's 14-0 with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left in the game. But now Jonathan Taylor will be back in the game because I don't want to play a game where I'm not playing against Jonathan Taylor. It just doesn't make any sense for the playoffs where he's just sitting and there's a fullback in the game. I'm not trying to get mad like I did against the Titans because it just makes no sense. But the jerseys are different now, so we're not wearing our throwbacks. We're wearing the turquoise jerseys at home, which is weird. But it is what it is, but now at least Jonathan Taylor is back into the game, and we will be using Javon Holland. I hate to have to do that as they run a screenplay, but Van Ginkel makes a nice tackle, but Jonathan Taylor breaks it. But then Xavier Howard comes over for the tackle. I hate to make it unrealistic like that, where we have to quit the game. We're back with different jerseys, all that type of stuff, but I do what I have to do, man. Madden just sucks. I hate that I have to do that, but it is what it is. At least the progress saves, the stats save, all that type of stuff, so it is what it is. Using River Craycraft here on the return, we'll just run out of bounds to not turn over the ball and take a big hit. But I apologize for having to quit the game and taking away from the immersion, especially with the jerseys and quitting the game just in general. But that is just how the game works because of Madden. You can blame Madden for that. As Jalen Waddle is open on the sideline, a nice low throw from Tua Tagovailoa and a good catch from Jalen Waddle, 6 for 7 for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for Tua already. I hate to do it. I hate to not wear our throwback jerseys because I was really excited to. But that is just what we have to do to make sure that their star players are in the game, which is ridiculous. As Tyreek is open down the field, Tua Tagovailoa lobs it up, but it looks like it's a little bit overthrown. And unfortunately, he does miss Tyreek Hill on the bomb of a play on the streak, but on the go route. But it is what it is. And I'm going to keep apologizing because I am frustrated. I'm really trying my best not to get mad. If you watched the Titans game, you saw I just ranted. The whole game was just me ranting about how the game sucks because Madden sucks at their game. Like, they suck at making the game. But I hate taking away from the immersion. I'm going to try and move on from that topic because at least the stats saved and all of that. As Tyreek Hill is open down the field, and that's another touchdown for Tyreek Hill as we go up 21-0 on the Indianapolis Colts here, which is awesome. I don't want to get too ahead of myself just because Jonathan Taylor is back at full fatigue level and they have a whole half. We do not want to pull an Atlanta Falcons and blow a 21-point lead in a playoff game. We don't want to do that. I'm so sorry for having to quit the game and now we don't have our throwbacks on and all that stuff. It takes away from so much of the immersion, but it is what it is. At least we do have our stats saved and Jonathan Taylor is still in the game, so it's just a workaround to keep Jonathan Taylor and the whole Colts roster in the game. So that's the only workaround I know to keep it legitimate, so it is what it is. I'll try and move on from that topic now, as let's go right into the cover 9 here, dropping into the zone for one of the first times this game, trying to throw off the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor and Matt Ryan. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this half as we get a sack from Christian Wilkins, primarily a run stopper, but you can see what he can do as a power rusher now, trying to make him more versatile, and he gets to Matt Ryan, which is a huge play. We do have all the momentum, so that is huge. Using Channing Tindall on this wide receiver as we will pass him off to the other zone. He just goes underneath, but he cannot even hit Mo Alley Clocks. Matt Ryan 5 for 10 with 50 yards. Tua Tagovailoa looking very comfortable on that sideline. Again, I hope he is so locked in because we need him to be. Jonathan Taylor going out on the screen route, so we will go user it with Channing Tindall because this is such a broken play. But he still makes the catch, even though I knew the play. Javon Holland make this tackle as he does, and we'll see what the Colts decide to do. I assume they'll just decide to punt it because we're still in the first half, as they will. And we have a chance to go up 28 or 24-0 before the half ends. We do have a chance to go up even more on this Colts team, who, honestly, I thought would be way more dangerous Maybe it's the fatigue level and that's why, but I really thought they would be way more dangerous just because they put up such a big fight in our first game in the regular season, and then they did just beat the Chiefs to make it here against us, against the Miami Dolphins in this divisional game. They literally beat Patrick Mahomes, who was incredible. If you watched yesterday's episode, 17.5, where I went over all the stats, Mahomes had an incredible year. He had one of the most passing yards ever. So, like, he was incredible as we go to Edmonds underneath. And now we will go right into the hurry-up, using Tua Tagovailoa's arm as we have this entire game, getting guys open deep, all that stuff. Cedric Wilson open underneath, and he cannot make the catch. That is really unfortunate, with Tua Tagovailoa's stat line still looking very good, as we will go right back to the halfback draw, because I don't know if they'll be expecting it with the 2-minute drill, and we still have all 3 timeouts, so I feel like time isn't too much of an issue. Run the halfback draw. Tracy tried to go back, get that block, as Chase Edmonds will run all the way around, and he'll get out of bounds anyway. What a run from Chase Edmonds. You love to see that for the boy, number 2, out of the backfield. Let's run this Niner angle play now, as the clock is stopped. We'll actually block Alec Ingold in the backfield. Let's see if Tyreek or Jalen Waddle can get open, as Jalen Waddle is wide open underneath. Great throw from Tua, and he gets open down the field. Time does not seem to be an issue, so we can just let it run a little bit. Let's run this tight end angle play, see what Mike Gesicki can do on that Texas route from the tight end position, or we have our guys on out routes. As Mike Gesicki looks open, come back to the ball, aggressive catch, and he makes the catch as we do go right to the 4-yard line. Great catch there from Mike Gesicki. You love to see it. Let's run this slot stick play, see if our guys can get open underneath or our tight ends in that zone, as no one looks open. Tua Tagovailoa rolling out to his left. Can he run in for a touchdown? Yes, he can, as he cannot make the tackle. Tua Tagovailoa with 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown in this half. Tua Tagovailoa is going off in his first playoff game. Cedric Wilson doing a great job to block out his receiver, and Tua Tagovailoa just walks it in to the end zone, as they cannot make the tackle before he's clearly in, as Kenny Moore tries to make the tackle on Tua Tagovailoa after the play. But we will go up 28-0 on this Indianapolis Colts team, and this is an awesome start to this playoff game. Up 28-0, the Colts start off from the 35-yard line. Let's see what Jerome Baker can do in coverage. Let's actually use our Byron Jones, just because we know exactly what route he's about to run, so we can pick it off if need be. Let's see where Matt Ryan goes. He goes underneath. Eric Rowe cannot make the tackle, but Byron Jones does, as they will call another timeout. The Colts down 28-0 already, and we get the ball at half. This is going to be a tough comeback for Matt Ryan. And it's funny because he's the one who did the comeback against us, as we were covering with Emmanuel Ogbah, but look at Emmanuel Ogbah go, as a nice catch by number 19 on Eric Rowe. Matt Ryan is 9 for 14 for 100 yards, just not doing enough, as it will call their final timeout and kick a field goal. So assuming they make it, we will be up 28-3 in our first playoff game. You love to see it, as let's see what they can do, as it is Rodrigo Blankenship trying to make the kick, and that is exactly right down the middle. So we'll be 28-3 heading into the second half. At the halftime, we're just going to do run inside and try and waste some clock, just because we do want to get out of here with the win. Obviously, I did not mean to stop the outside run, but it still is a fine idea, because Jonathan Taylor still is our most dangerous asset as the Colts. They are a team that is built on their run game and their defense, so they're not designed to come back from big leads, as Rodrigo Blankenship with a nice tackle on River Craycraft, the kicker, with a nice tackle on River Craycraft, our return. Let's go right back to the air, because we've had so much success with it, with Tua and Tyreek and Waddle, just our star players showing up on this game, or in this game, as Mike Gesicki is open down the field. And let's toss it up with Tua Tagovailoa, and Mike Gesicki makes the secure catch. Tua Tagovailoa 11 for 14 and 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's go right back in the air, as we want to keep it going. The Falcons just tried to waste clock, all this type of stuff. We are going to try and keep attacking with what has worked. Raheem Mostert with a nice block. Tyreek Hill gets open on the sideline, and he does a great job to get 2 feet in. Tua Tagovailoa continues to roast this Colts defense, as this has been a great game from him. Let's continue with the play action, assuming they would think we would run on 2nd and 1. Let's see what we can do as we play action, have all the time in the world. Never mind, we get sacked and a fumble, but Liam Eichenberg does a great job to get on the ball. They're not even touching him. I don't know why, but they finally do tackle him. But that's a great job by Liam Eichenberg to make sure we don't turn over the ball, as Yannick Ngakoue gets the sack. Going to run this underplay and continue to chew some clock. Let's actually put Tyreek on the streak just to see if we can beat this guy, because they only have 1 safety out there. And Tyreek is just too fast, as we will just lob it up to Tyreek Hill. Hopefully that's not an overthrow, as it is a little bit of an overthrow. Tua Tagovailoa misses Tyreek again, and we will be forced to punt to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see if we can pin them deep with Thomas Morstead. We're going to put a little bit of backspin on it, but hopefully this just goes out of bounds, as that should be a relatively good kick. If it does get out of bounds, no, it doesn't. That will be right into the end zone. I did not angle it to the sideline enough. And as you see, my excitement has died down a lot just because I thought the Colts were going to put up a way bigger fight against us. But maybe they're here for a big second half as they finally got a stop on us. So maybe it's the beginning of them trying to actually do something. Jonathan Taylor, we cannot get off the block, but a great tackle from Jalen Phillips from the opposite side, from the weak side of the field. Tua Tagovailoa dapping up Raheem Mostert. You love to see it. Running this Mike blitz play, which you love to see. Using Jerome Baker, trying to get pressure on Matt Ryan on the second 5. We get an instant run, and they run it with Matt Ryan on a QB run, designed run, as that makes it 3rd and 4. I have no idea what Frank Reich and Matt Ryan are trying to do, trying to cook up on that play, but maybe they think we weren't going to expect it, but unfortunately Matt Ryan's a little too slow for that to work. Jonathan Taylor goes on that text route over the backfield, and then they finally get a first down. It feels like that might be their first down of the game. Obviously, it's not. It just feels like that because it's just been under domination for your Miami Dolphins. Using Javon Holland over the top, pressing those receivers just because I feel like we have the corners to be able to do that. Eric Rowe in the slot there as we're using with Javon Holland. No one's open, and Jalen Phillips gets a sack. Another young superstar shows up to the game, and he gets a sack with a nice celebration there as he sacks Matt Ryan. You love to see that. Going to do the same thing here. Actual user Jerome Baker, just because Matt Ryan's not really a runner, so we can actually do whatever we want because Baker's on a spy for this play. So let's see what he wants to do. As we're getting a lot of pressure, Matt Ryan throws it up on Nick Needham, and unfortunately they cannot make the catch as Eric Fisher is now hurt for the Indianapolis Colts. 3rd and 14 now. We're going to continue to send the pressure if we can. Let's run this strong safety blitz, see what Brandon Jones can do on the blitz, and we'll use our Javon Holland over the top. This does already seem like 4 down territory for the Indianapolis Colts, so let's see what they do. Using Javon Holland. Jalen Phillips gets his 2nd sack of the game. His 2nd sack on this drive. 4th and 20 for the Miami Dolphins. And this is utter domination by your Miami Dolphins. It's 4th and 20, so they can't even afford to go for it, as we will start to chew clock on this drive with the run game. River Craycraft with the catch, and we will actually just go down because I do not want him to get hurt, as that's a nice return there from River Craycraft. Does exactly what we want him to do as we go right into the chew clock and right back to Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds. See what they can do on the ground as we want to just get out of this game with the win. It is not the most exciting game, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to be way more intense. As you can see, my excitement has died way down since the start of this game just because I was so hyped for it. And I honestly, as a person recording the series, obviously I would love to have the weakest, like I would love to go against the weakest team if I was just playing. But for the videos and all that stuff, you want the games to be at least be exciting, because then it's exciting for me to actually play all that type of stuff. And unfortunately, the Colts did not show up to play. I actually like that we got the Colts just because I thought it would have been a crazy competition as Tyreek Hill is just wide open. Like, the Colts just did not show up to play, man. Their defense is all over the place. They cannot stop our offensive scheme, and Mike McDaniel, I guess, just playing so much for this. As this 1st and 10 will go right back with the arm of Tua Tagovailoa. He rolls out to his left. Let's see who's open. Let's see who's open. Tyreek Hill is wide open, but unfortunately he does not go back to the ball, and that is an incompletion for Tua Tagovailoa. We'll go right back to the run with Raheem Mostert, hoping to get a little bit of yards to make it 3rd and manageable on this next play and keep the clock running, as Mostert unfortunately only gets about 2 yards to make it 3rd and 8 on the 46-yard line. Matt Ryan trying to juice his team up as he knows he's pretty old. This is one of his last playoff runs or a chance to do well in the playoffs, so he wants to see if he can come back. As let's throw it up to Jalen Waddle, as I believe he burnt his guy. Yes, he did. In stride, Tua Tagovailoa to Jalen Waddle as he is roasting this Colts team. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill cannot be stopped. As we are kicking the ball off, up 35-3. I'm very disappointed with how this game was turned off, as unfortunately I wasn't paying attention to the kick, so it did go out of bounds, so no worries there. I'm kind of upset with how this game has gone, just because I wanted this to be way more intense. I wanted to be wearing the white throwbacks, and of course it's so Madden to ruin such a great series this has been. I'm not saying it's over anything by saying like, oh, ruining such a great series this has been, but I really wanted this playoff game to be intense and to be close and to be something that we can look forward to and something that we can look back on as an intense first playoff game for the Miami Dolphins in 2000. As finally we'll have our first playoff win since 2000, but I didn't want this game to be a little bit more exciting, to be completely honest, as we do try and get another sack, but he actually does throw it to Malai Cox finally underneath. Xavier Howard with a nice tackle. Matt Ryan, 11 for 17 for 117 yards, so he just has not done anything. We have stopped the hell of Jonathan Taylor because our run defense has been incredible. Channing Tindall makes the tackle on Jonathan Taylor, but he finally gets the first down. We've completely clamped him up, 7 rushes for 19 yards, and Tua Tagovailoa has just gone off, so maybe it's just a different level of team, and to be honest, maybe they shouldn't even make the playoffs, because in real life, we have no idea if they're even going to make the playoffs, but it's just kind of annoying because even in the regular season, it was a way closer game with the same sliders, the same teams, the same everything. They did have the fullback in for those 2 plays, but as you saw, he quit the game so that Jonathan Taylor could come right back in. Because imagine how much worse this would be if they didn't even have Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that Madden has this where it's 35-3 for the Dolphins over this Colts team, but it is what it is as he goes underneath. A nice tackle there by Byron Jones, but this whole 4th quarter will just be us running the clock out and the Colts trying to get down the field as quick as possible. Paris Campbell with his first catch of the game. Hopefully our next team that we face in the playoffs is a little bit better. Maybe just because the Colts just were a team that barely made it. Obviously they didn't just barely make it, but they're a team that surprisingly made it just because they somehow made the playoffs, and we're just maybe a different level. So we're up 35-3 on these Colts. It's really disappointing. They just beat the Chiefs. They played us so well. Like Jonathan Taylor ran all over us. They played us so well in that first game against us in the regular season when we first played them, and now it's just been domination. I guess we've just been getting better. Maybe they've just gone worse, but it's really unfortunate as they are passing the ball 2nd and 9 here for Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts, using Channing Tindall, trying to cover everything underneath. He throws underneath to Paris Campbell, and a nice tackle there from Jerome Baker, but it is just utter domination as they will be in 4th down territory here anyway, so we can't even force them to play the field goal and bend but don't break. But using Channing Tindall, using Jerome Baker over the middle, going to blitz up the middle as Matt Ryan rolls out to his right, and he just decides to throw it away on 3rd and 4. And hopefully they go for it here, which they are. Thank God they're not just getting a field goal. That would really make me even more mad, but it is what it is. Going to move Brandon Jones over to cover the receiver he should be covering. And yeah, it's a great, honestly, I'm still happy because we did just get our first playoff win in I don't know how long. So that I'm happy about. I won't lie. I'm very happy. Our first playoff win since 2000. So we're back into the league, man. We're making a statement with our first win up 35-10 now on the Indianapolis Colts, but making a statement to the rest of the league saying we're here. We're not just here to keep up. We're here to take over. That's basically why we are here, and that is a statement we are making. So that is what we're going to do. Look at Mike McDaniel with all of these run plays. He does not want to throw the ball at all because, honestly, why would we throw the ball? We're just going to try and run it down their throats and waste a bunch of clock as possible as they finally get a stop on Raheem Mostert. 11 rushes for 56 yards. 2nd and 9, the halfback stretch with Alec Ingold. As let's see if we can continue, as we do need to keep getting first downs because we don't want them to get into it. But as I say that, Raheem Mostert gets a bunch of yards, and also as I say that, the thing I just realized, there's just not enough time for them physically to make it back in this game. As another long run for Raheem Mostert, 12 rushes for 98 yards. He continues to be incredible for us, and Chase Edmonds has been incredible as well, as we'll get him the ball right now. But it's really unfortunate that this wasn't a closer game. It's just domination by us. Chase Edmonds has ran the ball incredibly. 7 rushes for 40 yards. He's just been cutting back and forth using that cutback speed. Everyone says he's slow. I don't think he's slow. I just think he's not Raheem Mostert fast, just because our team is so filled with speed that even if you're fast, if you're not the fastest, you're not fast basically on this team. And Raheem Mostert does a great job to try and reach for that first down. But Chase Edmonds is still fast, but his big thing is his ability to make cuts and cut up the field, and his ability to catch the ball, obviously. But we'll have Sonny Michel in the game, get him a couple touches here. Jerome Smythe motioning over to get an even better blocker over there with him as a tight end, as we have a bunch of space, and Sonny Michel does get the first down, as we are just trying to waste as much clock as possible, as we'll keep the ball in our running back's hands. As let's get Tyreek Hill involved with a run, see if he can do anything on the ground. We might as well try it. Why not? Let's get him the ball on the end around. Tyreek Hill gets the ball. Let's get a big block there from Jerome Smythe, which we do, and this will be a walk-in touchdown for Tyreek Hill as we continue to pour it on the Indianapolis Colts, as this will be about a 41 or 42-10 game. And we just have to make sure, even if they score a touchdown, we just have to make sure they use a bunch of clock to score that touchdown, as this game has been over for a while. I really wish this was a more exciting game, but we're just on a different level than the Indianapolis Colts, I guess. I think we're just on a different level as a team, so we are up 42-10, so that's really unfortunate. As let's make sure we make the stop here, as we still want to try and not get out of this game, as this is still the playoffs, and we still want to make sure that we're playing at such a high level for next week, going into next week, as we are still in playoffs. We have to keep playing these games, and we want to make sure our team does not get lazy, does not get... Honestly, we shouldn't be happy. I'm even disappointed just because of the game. It's not exciting. But we should not be happy with this, because our goal, obviously, it was to win one playoff game, but we want to do more than that. We're here to win a championship, maybe. We're not here to just mess around. we definitely want to stay in this game. There's a nice tackle there from Nick Needham. Matt Ryan, 17 for 24, 178 yards, and a touchdown. Not even a bad game. It's just that we've stopped Jonathan Taylor so much where it's just been calculated destruction. That's the best way I could describe it. Let's use Jerome Baker on the slant, just because this ability is so overpowered where we just know exactly what play they're running as he's going to throw it. But unfortunately, they do get instant pressure, so it is an incompletion for Matt Ryan as they're running the screenplay again. Why are you running back-to-back screenplays? This is the dumbest thing ever, Madden. I know exactly what play it is, and I almost get the interception, but unfortunately, our guy blocks it. So our guy deflects instead of giving us the ability to swat the ball. And finally, they're going to run a play that has a route going deep. Finally. I don't know why you keep going underneath. It makes no sense as they finally get yards down the field. It's so stupid as they do convert the first down. And Matt Ryan, not even having a bad game in his own right, it's just not good enough to keep up with Tua Tagovailoa and this Miami Dolphins offense. We're just built differently. Tua Tagovailoa dapping up with Tyreek Hill. And they're running another screenplay. Jesus Christ, stop. Stop running screens. Stop it. Stop running screens. I don't get this. Why aren't you going deep down the field? You're down 42-10. It's so stupid as now they're finally running something. Hopefully this isn't just a stick play where it's short passes. They're running slants. Wow. What great offense from this Colts team in the playoffs. There's a nice hit stick there from Xavier Howard on to the Indianapolis Colts. But so stupid as we'll run this cover 3 sky. Just running the zone, keeping everything in front of us. We'll use your training Tyndall on that inside route. Just very, very stupid by this game. Matt Ryan dropping back, and it's Zach Sealer with a sack in the playoffs. This has just been complete domination. I have no other way to describe it. I've said it a bunch of times now, but that's the only way to describe this massacre. Cover 4 drop for the Miami Dolphins. We will use Javon Holland on this outside route, and we'll pass him off to the other blue zone just because we have no idea what the other routes are. So let's pass it off to him, and let's cover underneath. As they go to Jonathan Taylor underneath, and he runs out of bounds trying to save whatever clock they can. As Matt Ryan has thrown the ball 30 times, 28 completions, but just not good enough. We'll use Eric Rowe here on this underneath double move type route. I have no idea what route that even is, but let's just cover it and make sure we stop them. As he does throw it up, but unfortunately it does go out of bounds. Looking for Molly Cox. And I guess they're just going to kick a field goal because 4th and 16 is just way too long. And they're just done with this game. 42-13. If Rodrigo Blankenship can make this kick, which he doesn't, so this continues to be under domination as we will win this game 42-10 as Tua Tagovailoa comes in to Miami and gets his first playoff win for the Miami Dolphins. You love to see it for a QB1. You love to see it for Mike McDaniel, who's doing what a bunch of coaches in recent history for the Miami Dolphins couldn't, as he wins a playoff game as we continue to chew this clock, and that'll be the end of this game. And it's a little bit of a disappointing episode. Let's give Jalen Waddle a touch just because why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. But it's a little bit of a disappointing game in terms of the intensity. At the start of the game, I was hype. I was nervous. I was really trying to make sure that we stay in this, keep the immersion up. But just a battering by this Miami Dolphins team, and Jalen Waddle gets no yards on that rush. And we'll just make sure we get under. And we will just make sure we get under the 30-second mark or the 40-second mark, and that will be the last play of the game. As the Colts finally get a stop, finally going for a strip. Raheem Mostert throw 14 rushes for 105 yards, and that will be the last play of the game. As for whatever reason, it doesn't just chew the clock all the way to the end of the game. So we will just see here. I'll put my controller down. Thank you guys so much for watching this series so far. As we win our first playoff game since 2000, that's a great thing to say. That's a great thing for me to be able to say. And we dominate the Indianapolis Colts at home. Thank you to all the fans that showed up because clearly they had an effect on the game right from that false start at the beginning of the game. I could tell that this might not be the closest. Frank Reich looks super disappointed as our team looks very happy, but not too happy because this is not where we want to be. Tua Tagovailoa dapping up Matt Ryan because the two starting quarterbacks going back and forth. Tua Tagovailoa, look at him holding number 1 because that is who he is. As he wins his first playoff game, Tua Tagovailoa played amazing. As he didn't even have to do that much, he just found his guys open deep down the field. 249 passing yards, 175 rushing yards, 75% completion percentage. Our offensive line did a great job not allowing pressures. As Tua Tagovailoa runs into the tunnel with his fellow teammates after that playoff win, as this was just complete domination. Tua Tagovailoa having a borderline perfect game, 14 for 19, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Matt Ryan, honestly, I keep saying it, didn't have a bad game, just didn't do nearly enough. 20 for 31, 1 touchdown, no picks. Rushing wise, Raheem Mostert was awesome. Chase Edmonds was awesome. Jonathan Taylor, we clamped up. We only made them run 8 times because we just put up the score that much where they had to start throwing it. Tyreek Hill had that one rush for 20 yards and a touchdown. You love to see that. Jalen Waddle had 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Molly Cox had 61 yards, and Jonathan Taylor had 40 yards as a receiver. Defensively, we had 2 sacks from Jalen Phillips, 1 sack from Ngakoue, 1 sack from Christian Wilkins, and 1 sack from Zach Sealer. But Jalen Phillips, the young stud, showing up. No interceptions on the game. And Rodrigo Blankenship did miss that 1 kick. Jason Sanders, no field goals, just 6 for 6 on extra points. And that will be the end of that game. Really unfortunate that wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be. I really got up for this game. I really got excited for this game. But unfortunately, that is just how it goes sometimes. I really wish it was a little bit closer, as we do have a couple of upgrades. So let's keep going with Agile for Robert Hunt, as that keeps him as a scheme fit now, which is awesome, as he does fit that Mike McDaniel type run zone scheme, run blocking +1 and run block finesse +3. You love to see that for Robert Hunt. For Jalen Waddle, we will keep upgrading his route running just to make him that much better. +1 awareness, +1 catching, +1 medium route, and +1 short route. You love to see that for the young stud wide receiver who showed his ass in this game. And let's go right back to the press conference, and then we will see who we are playing next week. Huge congrats on the playoff win, coach. Let's see if we can keep this ball rolling, pick up another one next week. Of course, that is what we are trying to do. That is what we want to do so badly. You're talking to the assistant GM as we get 7 staff points for dominating the Colts, and that is about it for that little cutscene. As we will advance to the next week and see who we're playing in the conference championship, and then after that, just one more win to try and get to the Super Bowl. As we're playing Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. This game should be crazy. Justin Herbert versus Tua Tagovailoa in the playoffs in the AFC Conference Championship at 6:40 in Hard Rock Stadium. Herbert, Tua, Chargers, Dolphins tomorrow. With that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.